morning, everyone. My name is Terry Heiser-Haynes, and I'm with Alliance for Workforce Development. I'm the Business Service Supervisor for Lassen, Modoc, and Plumas counties. I'd like to begin this webinar, which is Layoff Assistance for Rapid Response for those unemployed or underemployed, with an emphasis on the reflection of COVID-19 in your area. Some features I'd like to go over with before we begin is if you have any questions throughout the webinar, you can use the Q&A or chat feature at the bottom of your screen, and this will allow you to pose any questions you might have. We will be allowing time after each presentation to present questions pertaining to their expertise, and we'll make sure that all the questions are answered for each individual by the end of this webinar. Your local Lassen Rapid Response Team, our office is located at 1616 Chestnut Street here in Susanville, California. Our office number is 530-257-5057, and the team members here to serve you with your job-seeking needs are Chrissy Adams, she's at extension 310, and Leslie Scott at extension 307. Other ways to connect with us regarding this COVID incident is through COVID-19 customer at ncen.org. I'd like to go over a few more items on our agenda. We will be having EDD services where we have our representative Perry Brustad from the Employment Development Department. We have Yvonne Hawks from, she is the program manager, program manager for Lassen Works for Lassen County Community Social Services. With us is Amy Velasquez, Director of Business Services for Alliance for Workforce Development, Christine Farrell, who is Assistant Director and Campfire Recovery Team for Alliance for Workforce Development, and Chrissy Adams, Career Center Advisor, Supervisor for Alliance for Workforce Development. Continuing on with our agenda, the Employment Development Department Services will offer up information on unemployment insurance and pandemic and unemployment assistance. Our local assistants, again, will be represented by Yvonne Hawks. And then additionally, we will touch on some training and workforce services that are available through Alliance for Workforce Development. Before the end of the webinar, I will launch a poll that we would appreciate the participants to complete that will assist us with the needs in this community. So with that said, I'd like to begin with Perry Brustad from the Employment Development Department.
So good morning. As she said, I'm Perry Brustad. I work with the Employment Development Workforce Services Division. And today we're going to go over a little bit about unemployment and the pandemic as well. So you have in front of you on the slide that you're looking at, that is the cover on the unemployment handbook. There's a number on that. This is available on the edd.ca.gov website. It is a wonderful overview of the unemployment insurance program, as well as disability, paid family leave, and workforce services. So you can pull that up, and I believe you also have it in the packets that you received. I'm not sure, but if not, you can know right where to get it. The form, you can also just type it in a Google command line, DE2320, and it will take you to the booklet. So it's a nice way to start and a good overview for you. So how do you file for unemployment? 3 ways: online, by phone, or by paper. And as you can imagine, online is preferred. It's once you get it set up, it's easy, it's quick, and it goes to the queues at unemployment right away. By phone is an automated system. It's the number 800-300-5616. And if you use that system, there's prompts that you will follow. You will They're 1, 3, 2, and 6, and they're on the screen there. So 1 for English, 2 for Spanish. If you have people who speak a different language, when they're in the initial 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, it goes 3 for Cantonese, 4 for Japanese. It goes on into other language availabilities. So please share that if you have people that need assistance in other languages. Then when you get to, you'll have to listen to the recorder. Of course, you can't bypass it by entering the 1326. But when you come to the option 3, when they offer it to you, that will be to file or reopen a claim. You'll push 3, then you'll listen, and then you'll go to 5, and then you'll listen, you'll go to 6. And if somebody is available, they will help you with your form online and take that information. That line has been very impacted right now, so I would really encourage everyone to use the online system. By paper is also available. You can print out a form online. If you are trying to file online and you worked out of state part of the year, or you are a federal employee, it will prompt a paper form to be loaded up that you print out, and it has to be faxed in. Now, the fax paperwork right now with everything that's been going on has been 4 weeks out. So I want to encourage everybody that can to use the online system. There are videos on YouTube regarding this, and a lot of information that makes it really easy for you. When you do file, be sure that you're going to use your email. Make sure you use your own email, because if you use someone else's, they can't use it if they ever try to use the system. So use your own email. When you create your password, please, please, please write it down. We spend hours of time helping people with passwords they can't remember. And those passwords will be good in the future if you ever had surgery or you ever took paid family leave to take care of a family member. You want to be sure you keep that, because it's the same access to the system. So Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, it's a big deal right now. You apply exactly the same way. On the application, there are questions that ask you, were you laid off due to the COVID virus? And so the application has information in there that will allow you to enter why you're not working. And it will also trigger the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. And we're going to go on through this a little more later. But if you are self-employed, if you're an independent contractor or a 1099 worker, you can file for Pandemic Unemployment Insurance. Now, there's a caveat there. You will need some information. You will have to have your 2019 net income when you do that. So if you go into file and you're a business owner or 1099 or an independent contractor, I want you to remember that you're going to need that information before you go in there. And many people haven't filed yet, so that's going to be an important number to have. So payments and when to file for the pandemic unemployment. If you're self-employed, like we talked about, or an independent contractor, or someone who may otherwise qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance, and you already filed a claim for unemployment before April 28th, if you have not, you have to refile after the 28th. So that's important. If you filed in March and you were under that category, you're going to want to make sure that you've refiled again after the 28th. You don't need to send in or cancel the claim that you did before the 28th. You don't need to call EDD either. That will be an automatic within the system. Okay, so the UI claim you filed where you may have received a notice from EDD, it probably indicated that you had 0 award and 0 amount or a disqualification. That happened because the system had to be rewritten. The unemployment system was not set up to have funds available for people who weren't employed. So it's been rewritten, and that's why the filing date, you have to refile after the 28th. So unemployment online is the Employment Development Department Unemployment Division's application portal for both regular unemployment claims and the pandemic unemployment claims. So all applicants will be asked the same basic questions, including about employment history, earning information, along with some new questions to determine the pandemic eligibility. Based on the responses, as well as the wage information that the system has, that the Employment Development Department has, it'll determine if your claim is processed as a regular claim or a pandemic unemployment assistance claim. So that's really important to know. Some people are getting laid off not related to the pandemic. So the questions will help you to specify whether you qualify or not. And it's very clear in there. I've walked several people through it, so it's very clear. So the information you're going to need when you file before you sit down is you're going to need your personal information, your name, your birth date, your full mailing address, your social security number. And if you're not authorized, if you're not a citizen, you'll need employment authorization documents, and there's the number on there that you will enter into the application. You'll need employment history for the last 18 months. You're going to list your most recent employer and work back. So you're going to need names, addresses, phone numbers, the total income earned, and the reason why each job ended. Now, when you're doing the online application, you can put in your hourly rate and how many hours of work a week you work. You won't need those total numbers. Also note here, when you're doing the application online, required questions have a red asterisk to the left of them. If there's no red asterisk, or if it's grayed out, you do not have to fill out the information. So there are quarterly income information questions on there, but they are not required. They are grayed out, and they do not have the red asterisk. So I just want to alert you to that. And then again, when we do the information for the employers, we're also going to put the reason why each job ended. And it's going to have little drop downs, no longer working, laid off, reduced hours. Then below that, it's going to be a drop down that'll say due to the COVID virus or other reasons that might be appropriate. So that's where that information is captured on the online form. So when you sit down to do this, now you have all of your information, you're going to register for benefit programs online. There's a lot of ways to get to this website. If you already have a benefit program online account, you can skip this step. If you're on disability, paid family leave, or unemployment, the access is the same through the benefit program online account. You have your email and the password that you set up. So if you don't have it, you can go to the www.edd.ca.gov/benefit program online and register, or I many times just type in my Google command line benefit program online, and then it opens it up and it'll say edd.ca.gov, and you can go right in that way. It'll take you straight to the page. So sometimes that's an easy access. You'll have to accept the terms and conditions to continue. You're going to provide your personal email. And remember, we talked, if you use someone else's email, they can't use that email because it's linked to the Social Security number that's using it. So you're going to use your personal email and create a password. The password's case sensitive. It'll tell you right there, capital letter, number, symbol, 8 characters long. They'll have you pick an image, they have trees, hats, blue cupcakes, whatever you choose, and it'll have you write something that prompts you to think of your image below it. And then you're going to have to select 4 security questions. So the security questions have a drop-down menu, and questions like, well, they just have a myriad of questions in there. And so you'll pick ones that are easy for you to remember, and then you'll fill in the blanks. I have a good recommendation here. If you have a phone, take a picture of your security questions, because many times when people do forget their password, which has happened to everyone, I'm sure, it certainly happened to me, you'll need the answers to those security questions to go in and set it to reset your passwords. So take a picture of those if you have a phone, or write them down so you have them somewhere. That will be very helpful. So once you do that and you get through those security questions, the page will close and send a link to your email. So you'll want to check your email. Be sure that you use an email that you have access to. So if you make up an email and you don't know how to get into it, that's going to be a problem. So just little details you want to think about. So check your mail, and you're going to have an email that says do not reply, and you'll open it and there's a nice blue link in there. And you're going to click on the link, and that activates your account for you. Then you can go back out and log in, or you can go forward from that link and finish your application. If you don't see the response into your email right away, be sure to check your junk or spam, because sometimes phones will go in there. I've seen people who have 1,000 email, they have never deleted anything. So sometimes that impacts their ability to get information. So now we're registered, we're all set up. Now we're going to go and file the claim for unemployment. So if you don't go from the link into the claim, you're going to log into Benefit Program Online with the email and password you set up. And then you're going to select File a Claim. You're going to read the claim filing instructions, and you're going to provide your general information, your last employer information, and your employment history. Now, when you fill out the claim, if you fill out a box wrong or the format is wrong, it won't let you go to the next page, and it'll give you a red exclamation mark by the particular question that the system thinks needs clarification or is not correct in there. So sometimes the dates people will leave out a slash and the system won't let you through. So things to think about. So when you get done filling out all the pages of the claim, it will bring up the entire claim for you to look at, which is very nice. So then you can check your information, check your answers before you submit. Once you submit, it's a one-way application. And so you want to make sure you've done that and make sure you're comfortable with the answers to the best of your knowledge. You can save it as a draft, and that draft will be good through Saturday of the week that you're working on it, but after that you can't get to the draft either. So if you filled out that form and you want a copy, you better make your copy right there, and once you submit, you can't get it back. And then when you submit it, it's going to bring up a page with a confirmation number for you, and that's very important. So it brings up this page, and if you're on your phone, you're going to have to scroll down a little bit because you won't see it, but there's a confirmation number on that last page after you submit. Very important that you keep that. If you can make a copy of your claim, that's also nice. But just remember, once it's submitted, and making changes can be difficult. So take your time when you do your application. Now, after that, the application's gone in. Right now, it's been up to 3 weeks for responses. Unemployment sends you something in the mail saying, here's your benefit, here's how much you get. Now you're going to certify for benefits. Now that means that 2 weeks have gone by, and you're going to go in and you're going to let unemployment know by answering these certifications that you're still not working. Now, things are a little different with the pandemic, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but on a regular basis, you would just go in, and when you open your account, when you go in with your email and password, then you go to your main screen. It has all your information. It'll tell you the balance of your claim, tell you how much you get per week. There's an inbox in there for information, so it's very user-friendly. It will tell you to certify for benefits. There will be a blue button that'll say certify, or if you too early, it'll say cannot certify till after this date. So it's very good about keeping you focused on the information so that you don't have to worry about the dates. You can check your account. So when you register, I just skipped a step here, so I'm going to just go back just a little bit. Once you've set up your email and your password, and you've waited the time, and unemployment sends you the letter that everything's okay, they're also going to send you an account number. This is a one-time number. It's a 10-digit number, and you have to go in You're going to log in with your email, log in with your password. You're going to go to unemployment online, and then you're going to register manage. You're going into there, and it's a one-time process. You're going to enter your name, your social security number, your date of birth, and this 10-digit number. And that's the complete process to have your account set up where you can see all of your information. So if after you file, you try to go in and complete setting up, you can't do it until you get that 10-digit number. I hope that's clear. And if you have questions, please ask me when we're finished here. So if your unemployment benefit certification has dates, if they have dates on them, so they're usually for the week ending. So if it has the dates for the week ending, we'll use March 14th through May 9th. You don't have to certify for unemployment benefits at this time, which today's the 6th, so there's only 3 more days here. And unemployment did automatic payouts. However, if you're working part-time, please certify for benefits, even though you don't have to, because that needs to be reported, because it will be deducted from your unemployment. So there might be a glitch there, in which case you might need to talk to unemployment. So for these weeks, this means that after you initiate your unemployment claim and are determined eligible, you don't have to provide a certification for your continuing biweekly payments for the weeks that I mentioned between March 14th and May 9th. If you've not already done so, you will automatically receive those benefit payments unless you have an existing disqualification or a pending issue. You'll be required to provide information to the Employment Development Department if you work during these weeks. And that's why I said, please go ahead and certify, so that goes in, so they can be made aware while they're doing those automatic payouts. The failure to provide the Employment Development Department with information that you work during these weeks may result in overpayment that has to be paid back later. So that's why that's important. So it might be wise to just, if you're working part-time, please just go ahead and certify. So part of unemployment, now that we've got unemployment, we filed a claim, we know how to do our account, and part of regular unemployment is being registered for CalJobs. It's a requirement for unemployment. It's the state job exchange. Employers post jobs on CalJobs, and job seekers have an account on CalJobs, which only they can see. And then the resume, they have to put a resume on their account, which employers can see. So the general public is not looking at your resumes. They're resumes that employers can see. I think that's really important to have. Even if you're not doing unemployment, CalJobs is a great resource. You can register and set up your account. You can put up to 10 resumes in there. You can have those resumes available under their title. Employers can search, say you're a forklift driver and an employer in the county you live is looking for forklift drivers in the county, and the resume comes up, they can contact you. So it's a really nice way to have an interface going on behind the scenes for job search. And it's also a nice way to keep your chronology in your resumes, because you can go back and update those at any time. So that kind of completes the unemployment section on the basics and the CalJobs requirement. There is a program I want to talk about called the California Training Benefit. If you decide to go to school or you are going to training, there's a program called the California Training Benefit. And I'll just give you an overview. If you're between your 4th and 16th week, on here it says just between your before your 16th week of your claim for unemployment. So you've been drawing benefits. Before your 16th week passes, and you decide you're going to go to school or going to training, you want to contact unemployment at the 800-300-5616 and tell them that you'd like to flag your account, that you're interested in the California Training Benefit. Also, on your certification for weekly benefits, there's a place that it says, did you begin work or training? If you put yes, that will also trigger that. but it's best to call and make sure your account's flagged. That might hold your claim up for a week, but what it does is it may give you, a nice word would be training unemployment. And the usual unemployment is 26 weeks or 6 months, depending on your work history. And so if you're in a program where the job that you're choosing is in demand and a growing job, then you may be eligible. So that's, just going to give a brief overview there. You know it's there, you know how to get to unemployment. And then if you have more questions, you can certainly ask about that. So it's a process. So use of a WIOA provider for an approved training will streamline your California training benefits. So WIOA is the Work Enforcement Opportunity Act. That's the how all of these beautiful programs came to be through that act. So the two parts of the California training benefit, just to summarize a bit, one is to attend training while receiving unemployment approval, and then two, the potential to get your claim extended to continuing unemployment benefits while you finish your training. Now let me explain one other thing. This doesn't provide money for books or school or anything like that. It strictly may extend your unemployment. There are other resources which you'll hear about later that provide help with books and training and so forth. With the unemployment development California training benefit, you have to be able to support yourself while you're going to school and pay for your schooling. And it will change if you're approved. It changes the fact that you have to be able, available, and actively seeking work while you're under the California training benefit. So there's some just brief overview of that program so that you're aware. Veteran services are also available. Veterans have a priority of service. They can post their jobs in CalJobs. We have veteran service navigators that help register them in CalJobs. And there are what we call DVOPs, which are disabled veteran outreach professionals that can help eligible veterans with the jobs. So there is a little bit of criteria. This program is for low income, disabled veterans needing assistance, but any veteran can call, and there are so many resources all over. I'm sure they will get directed in the correct area. So there's a lot of helpful links. If you notice, we're online a lot lately, everybody. So we do a lot of reading. So these are the helpful links. For the Employment Development Department, the edd.ca.gov will take you in, and then there's a myriad of information. As you can see, if you look at this slide down at the bottom, there's pandemic unemployment assistance. When you go into the edd.ca.gov, right across the top, there's a big window that says COVID virus. You can go in there, and because you're probably going to have a lot of questions about the COVID virus. But I gave you an overview because you file the same way. It's how you answer the questions that qualify you and whether you get the extra $600 with your payment. So once it's processed. So if you have more questions, I'd be happy to take them. And this is a very brief overview of services. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Perry. We do have a question. The question is, if a business owner has not filed their 2019 taxes, can they still enter an estimate of their income? I see on EDD online, it's connected with IRS. So are they confirming this through them?
I would say yes. I would say many of the systems are linked. And I would say whatever their net income they use, it would be important that it matches their taxes for 2019. They could file it, but they might have to talk to their accountant because it does ask for the net income from 2019. And I know business owners had an extension right now on their taxes. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you, but that's the best answer I have right at this point.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for the nice overview. So
You're
we're
welcome.
going to move on to having some information for our assistance and local help here in Lassen County. I have Yvonne Hawks, Program Manager for Lassen Works, that will be presenting some information. And she's in my office with me. Take it away. Come closer.
Hi. I am just going to give a brief update on what benefits can be accessed and where you can locate that online. So I can see on the PowerPoint, the first one there is CalFresh. And we have experienced quite an increase in CalFresh applications. And where you can apply for that is either at the See for Yourself website, which is www.seeforyourself.com. And at that site, you can apply for any benefits through the department, not just CalFresh, but Medi-Cal, CalWorks, and also General Relief, okay? And then also for any medical programs, you can apply at www.coveredcalifornia.com. And then for any strictly CalFresh, which are food stamp benefits, you can apply at www.getcalfresh.org. So basically, we're still open for services. We have people limited coming into the office for emergency services only, but we are highly promoting to use the online access. But of course, some people don't have access or have telephones or computers or things that they can get to our services like that. Are there any specific questions for me?
I don't see any at this time.
Okay. So if there are any family or individuals that are needing any resources or any help with medical, cash aid, or food benefits, you can contact us at either at the office here at 1616 Chestnut. The main phone number is 251-8152, and or online services are available for everything with the websites that I just mentioned. And we have sent out a mass mailer to all of our folks, and I'll be sharing this information with Terry afterwards. So if anybody needs anything afterwards, Terry will have all the contact information.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to go over a little more local information for WIC, which supplies nutrition programs for women, infants, and children. That is available through Northeastern Rural Health Clinics. Some of our utility companies have been offering assistance through this difficult time. Lassen Municipal Utility Districts has special help. Pluma Sierra Rural Electric Co-op has hardship help. PG&E has the CARE program, and then we have Lassen Economic Development Department. That's an energy assistance program, and we do have for Lassen Economic Development Department, we do have applications here in this office that can be picked up for anybody that is in need of that, so that they can apply for those benefits. Food banks here in our area, the Salvation Army is a great resource. Westwood One Stop Center and the Fort Sage Resource Center have assistance for folks. And then we have the Lassen Modoc Food Bank that is available. And again, I want to just remind everyone to please visit the link that was provided in the reminder email. And this information will also be included in a follow-up email that you receive from this webinar, that we have a list of a lot of other resources. So it's a kind of a one-stop shop on that list for your benefits. So Chrissy, could you go over some of the financial tips and reminders that are available for folks?
Sure. Okay, so as Perry Brewstad mentioned earlier, if you are needing to apply for unemployment, you have two options right now. You can apply for regular unemployment or the pandemic unemployment assistance, and what you put in your application is going to determine which kind of unemployment you're eligible for. For applying for county social services, Yvonne just went over that information, and you can go to the See for Yourself website to apply for all of their programs. Stimulus payments, if you have not gotten your stimulus payment yet, you can go to Check IRS and get my payment. Those are the things that you would type in, and you can check your status on that. If you are having to do an early withdrawal from your retirement, the penalty has been waived, and so you probably still want to talk to a financial advisor about that situation if you are going to do that. Right now, student loan repayments have been suspended, and it says 180 days from the passage. So I found out it is from March 13th through September 30th of 2020 that they are not going to do automatic withdrawals. So if you have your account set up so that it does an automatic withdrawal, that's not going to happen. If you want to still make a payment, you will have to contact them and set that up. Some mortgage companies are suspending payments. So if you are needing help that way, you would have to contact your mortgage company directly and find out if they can help you with that. And as Terry mentioned earlier, some utility companies are also suspending late fees, and they have programs that can help you with the energy that way. We can move on. So Alliance for Workforce Development is part of America's Job Center of California, and we have several offices in the area. We're a nonprofit, private nonprofit corporation, and we have 9 locations in 6 counties, so Butte, Lassen, Modoc, Nevada, Plumas, and Sierra counties. And we have 2 offices in Chico, 1 in Oroville, 1 in Susanville, 1 in Alturas, 1 in Grass Valley, 1 in Truckee, 1 in Quincy, and 1 in Sierraville. And we are under the umbrella of the Northern Rural Training and Employment Consortium, which is called NORTEC. And again, I wanted to reiterate, our Lassen office is located at 1616 Chestnut Street in Susanville, California. Our phone number here is 530-257-5057. And we offer several different programs, so depending on your situation, we can find a way that might be able to serve you. So we have many different services that we're able to provide. I'm just going to go over a few of those. We have job search assistance available. We have career center advisors here who can actually meet with you and help you with things like that. There is a self-service computer lab. We have a copy machine, fax machine, printer, and phone that you can use if you need it for job search or for applying for unemployment. We network with employers, so we can find ways to help you find jobs, because we do go back and forth with employers to find out what their needs are. We help people with assessments so they can decide what type of career they are suitable for. We do skills testing to see what level you're at. So maybe if you're basic skills deficient or something, we can see where you need to work on. We offer unemployment assistance, so we can help people with their unemployment applications as needed, or reference them with information that we have received. Our priority service groups are veterans, low-income individuals, basic skills deficient people who may not have their high school diploma or GED, and people who are on public assistance. We also offer training assistance, which would be like classroom training or vocational training, that type of thing. And we also have supportive services for people who are eligible based on their income and are needing help in maybe paying for certain items that they can't cover themselves. And we also have special grants. So some programs that we have currently that are related to COVID are on the screen here. The first one, we have a supportive service assistant grant, which depending on your income, you might be eligible for either $400 or $800 of supportive service assistance. That might help you with things like work attire, telework items. So maybe you are supposed to work from home and you can't afford to buy the equipment. We could maybe help you with that. So depending on what your income is, we may be able to help you with those situations. But you also have to participate in our programs to do that. The other program that we have right now is a temporary work program, which would be where we are working with employers in our area, in the county and public agencies, and we're trying to find ways to help people that have been impacted by COVID. So if you get a temporary job that way, it can help you in the meantime until you're able to go back to your regular work, and you'll also be helping your community at the same time. So right now we're working on finding employers and work sites that would like to take advantage of that opportunity. So if you're interested in getting assistance that way, contact us and we'll see what we can do to help. Okay, so other programs that we have an internship program which offers work experience mainly for our youth, people that are between 18 and 25 years of age. We do have internships as well for special programs. So with the COVID, we are going to be having some work experiences that will be temporary placements. And the big thing with this is to get people into a position where it can help them to get some soft skills and to learn a little bit about, a work environment if they haven't worked before and things like that. We also have adult dislocated worker and youth programs that we offer different services depending on what you're eligible for. Can move on. So another thing that we do are on-the-job trainings, and with that we partner with businesses, and if they maybe are posting a position and they can't find anybody to fill that has all of the experience that they want to start out with, maybe there's a candidate that has most of those skills or has the potential for those skills, but they need a little extra help. And so we have the on-the-job training program where we partner with the employer and develop competencies that the person will have to meet in order to be successful in the program, but that helps offset the cost of the training for the employer. Another thing that we provide is training assistance. So with people who are thinking about classroom training or vocational training, they can come to us and see if they can get assistance. We help a lot in Lassen County with the healthcare programs that they have, like the LVN program, licensed vocational nursing, certified nursing assistant program. We've got also the post academies where we've sent people or helped them at the Butte Post Academy or the College of the Siskiyous, different ones in the area depending on where they're able to go. And we partner with law enforcement agencies also if they have selected a good candidate and they need a little bit more assistance with training. So we can help offset costs for required training items.
Thank you, Chrissy. Well, most of our participants on this webinar should have just received a poll that I launched. I would like to ask everyone to complete that poll for us. It was just going to let us know if you would like more information or help from us. I also would like to encourage you to visit the link that will be provided after this email that will provide you with all the resources that we have discussed here today. And a great avenue for our job seeker community and our business community, for that fact, to look for positions here in our local areas, along with the other counties in which Nortec is in Nortec's consortium, is nortecjobs.com. And what's really nice about this job search engine is you can go in and you can type in just the type of position you're looking for or the county in which you're looking to work at, and it will bring up all of the available positions that have been posted by us or the business owners for for possible employment opportunities. There is various ways to reach out to us. You can call us at our local offices by phone or visit our local office here in Susanville at 1616 Chestnut Street. Our phone number is 257-5057. Like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn at Alliance for Workforce Development, Inc. We have a website chat feature at www.afwd.org, which is manned throughout the week, all day long. So don't hesitate to ask questions with that. And then for this, there is an email set up that's COVID-19 customer at ncen.org. So at this time, we do have another question that we will need to get back, I believe, to the inquirer. It is asking if we know how many current and county city of Susanville statistics, sorry about that, on unemployment is due to COVID. What were the numbers before the pandemic? Unfortunately, I don't have that information at my fingertips at this point, but we could, we will make that inquiry and get back to that individual for that information. Do we have any other questions or comments? Harry, just one moment. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry, I muted you.
Oh, I just have kind of an answer for that question. There was some literature that was put out. There were 58,000 claims in California before the pandemic hit, and in 1 week it went to over 600,000. And so that information is online on the EDD website if they want to look it up. It talks about that information, if that's helpful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have any further questions? Seeing none, I want to thank all the participants for tuning in this morning. And we will have this available. This webinar will be available by tomorrow on our website. And I have somebody that raised their hand. I'm sorry, I'm new to trying to find out raising hands. Layton, I apologize. I have somebody trying to ask a question and I cannot seem to get to him at this time.
Hi, Terry.
Yes.
If somebody does have a question, they raise their hand. They just have to use the Q&A box or the chat feature. Unfortunately, we can't unmute them to ask that question, but we would love to hear it if they want to type it in the chat box.
Okay, thank you very much, Christine. So
Terry?
let's give, yes.
I did have a question. I have an individual who has, and this is actually for Perry. I have an individual who has been trying for the last couple of weeks to contact EDD regarding his claim, and I guess he was routed from your number over to Marysville and he hasn't been successful. Do you have any suggestions for him?
I wish I did. The workforce services divisions have had access to transfer people through to unemployment, and it's been very difficult. Usually the best time to get through to his office, to his local office, employment development department, he wants to push the workforce services option, not unemployment option, when he gets in there, and ask workforce services to transfer him. And I think I have that information right here. Let me look. It has been very difficult with the amount of claims, and we've had difficulties too. So the workforce services divisions are really trying to help people get through. So that's an option. And the other option is the email, but I think calling the workforce services office in his area and asking for transfer. So be his employment development department workforce services option.
Okay, thank you.
And ask for transfer, yes.
So Perry, I do have a couple more questions for you. One is, so we have a question about the effort to file PUA. I worked a small amount in Maryland. Terry, you may recall the out-of-state unemployment issue where I can't file online that we talked about yesterday. Oh, thank you, Layton. I am remembering this now. This gentleman is going through the process and then he gets stuck and it tells him he needs to contact somebody, but none of the numbers take him to anyone to contact.
So my question is, so he worked in Maryland for a short time. Did he earn unemployment is paid by the employers in each state in which people work. So if he worked in California, he can file, but it's going to be what we call a split claim. So when he goes to register online and set up his password and he goes to file a claim, there's a question, did you work in another state during the last so many months? And that will trigger a download of the form that has to be filled out and faxed.
Okay.
And so when it triggers that, then he has to fill that information. He can type it in, but he has to print it out and it has to be faxed in. Because he does have to declare wherever he worked in the last 18 months.
Okay, thank you. And then another question is, this person is receiving UI and went back to work. He received payment, UI payment, but does not certify until May 9th. How does he return the money on the card or check?
That's a very good question. And I do not have an answer there. I know the process. I'll have to talk to the Workforce Services Office in this area to get transferred to unemployment and make arrangements with unemployment. And this is going to be a problem when they did the automatic certifications, right? Because then that's why I recommended people go ahead and certify for benefits. So at least it's in there showing that they worked part-time. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. So I tell people, be as patient as you can, call your local employment development, push the option for Workforce Services and say you really have an urgent issue with unemployment. Can you please transfer my call? Might take several times because all offices are having trouble getting through right now. And I have to say, when 600,000 people sat on a division of a small amount of people to take care of it, it was unprecedented. And my heart goes out to everybody trying to get through. So I say, just be patient, bake a cake, wax a car, put it on speakerphone, but get through.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. I see no other questions at this time. And again, I want to thank all of the attendees and our panelists. And we will be having another webinar for Lassen County next Wednesday, the 13th at 9 o'clock. So if you know anyone or you have more questions that come along, please join us for that. And you can reach us at 257-5057, and I'll be happy to supply that link to you. Thank you and have a great day.